In this video, I'm going to walk you through a field-by-field review of the ITAM vendor record in Flexera 1. The credentials you will need to perform these functions in IT asset management is the default operator role or higher. Let's get started. From our procurement menu, our only vendor view will be all vendors. And you will see a list of vendors here already created. From this screen here, you can create a vendor. You can use your search tools to find a particular vendor. This is where that would occur. This is also where you would see publishers housed as well. Publishers get added when an application is licensed automatically within the system. I'm going to open up our IBM record for a moment, and we'll see that there is a name here. The name would be IBM, and there's no contact information or address information. This usually indicates that this is a publisher record that was added when you created a license for an IBM application. On the screen, you can populate a phone number, a fax number, an email address, a website, street address, city, state, country, and postal code for your vendor. Vendor being someone that you are purchasing products from. On the Purchase tab, you'll see a list of purchases that are associated with this vendor and or publisher. In this case, we have a list of 5 purchases that had been processed using this vendor and publisher. The next tab would be Assets. If you do have assets for a particular vendor and you are managing those, this is where you would be able to search for those assets and add them to that vendor from a properties perspective. That could also be done on the asset record as well. The next tab would be Contracts. This would show you the related records to any contracts where this vendor was listed as the primary vendor of that contract. Next tab would be Licenses, and this would give you a list of all licenses that have been created associated with this vendor and or publisher. This next tab is Application Publisher. So as you can see on the General tab, the vendor name was IBM, but the calculated publisher is IBM as well. That means that this record was created from licensing one of those applications. That's called a calculated application publisher. If that calculation is incorrect, you can choose the publisher to associate this vendor record with by clicking Application Publisher and searching for that. Our last tab would be the History tab, and the History tab will give you a list of all history for this. I'm going to close out of this and talk about some tips on preventing duplicates. One of the first tips I would like to add is that there will be a lot of cases where you will see hundreds, maybe even thousands of vendor and or publisher records, depending on the size of your organization. As a best practice, we recommend to search before creating a new one and possibly creating a duplicate based on there might be a difference in spelling or something of that nature. We see that a lot in practice. So searching before creating is a best practice for vendors and or publishers. Also, if you are importing data and the import fields include vendor and or publisher, you would want to verify the correct spelling of the vendor and or publisher in the table and make sure that your import matches that so it will update to the existing record instead of creating a duplicate record